David Jackson.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Now then, you've already heard this morning about how some residents in Mansfield are planning to patrol a local park where sex attacks have happened, with calls to detain men acting suspiciously. Racecourse Park has had 2 sex assaults reported in the last 7 months, and there are now calls for more lighting and CCTV to make the area safer, with one petition to Mansfield District Council now having thousands of supporters, as David Sykes reports.
Everybody's friendly, but I wouldn't come on here on my own at night. Not when it's, getting dusk.
It isn't the best lit park, to be fair, and you do get your groups of teenagers which can put you off coming on, and now, particularly after the incident, we walk in pairs. We don't come down on our own at all now, so it has sort of spoilt that for me. You'd like to think it was an isolated incident, but because it's happened 6 months prior, it does just make you more wary.
Less than a week after the second sex attack to have taken place at Racecourse Park in recent months, there's a definite sense of wariness among the people passing through this Mansfield green space. The majority of the park is open and flat, but there are also bushier and more hilly areas, and there's only one footpath that has any lighting. These people agree that more lighting and more CCTV is needed to make the park safer.
A good idea, yes, and perhaps a park attendant. I hardly ever see park attendant.
It's a brilliant idea. Anybody that objects to it, they've got something to hide. That's what I think. If somebody's got something to hide, surely it's going to deter them. It's going to make them think twice.
The bottom half of the park's not lit up. Maybe they could do something with that, where the football changing rooms are.
Just texting me. To be honest, I don't come down here at night. It's like mainly during the day when I come down. I feel more safer, but at night it's pitch black, nobody can see anything. The lights need to be turned on more often, and then there ought to be CCTV down here, and there ought to be more people around here keeping an eye on it.
So far, the petition started by community news group Mansfield Uncovered has gathered 3,000 signatories in just 24 hours. But Inspector Neil Williams from Nottinghamshire Police says that while lights and cameras might sound good on paper, they may not be so effective in practice, and that it's too early in the investigation to say whether their absence was a factor in these apparently separate attacks.
I think what you've got to be mindful of is that, we are talking about very vast open spaces, and if you are looking at putting CCTV anywhere, the quality of evidence it's going to provide you may be limited. If it's occurred in an overgrown area, then there's nothing that CCTV would have done to have been able to assist that. So it really depends on the circumstances of the offence that's occurred. Now, let's be fair, any person who's going to commit a crime isn't going to do it directly under an area that's going to have CCTV. It really does, like I say, depend on the circumstances.
Well, earlier you heard from retired Chief Inspector for Mansfield, Barry Harper.
Unfortunately, it's affecting people's quality of life down there. But vigilantes doesn't always work. What would be really helpful is if members of the public were to see somebody doing something and make descriptions and just watch what's going off, but always ring 399s. It can be fraught with danger once members of the public start trying to make citizens arrest. That's a job for the police to do. What the police really need is information. But there's nothing wrong with members of the public just keeping an eye out for people. Just don't approach anybody. Always ring 399s.
Well, as you heard, that petition has been set up by the social media group Mansfield Uncovered, which claims to be Mansfield's largest online community and news outlet. It's calling on the District Council to improve security at the park, claiming that the council has failed in its moral obligation to provide adequate safety at the park. We had hoped at this point to speak to somebody from Mansfield Uncovered. They had agreed to come on, but were unable to get hold of them at this stage this morning. But we can speak to Councillor Mick Barton, portfolio holder for public protection in Mansfield. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So according to this petition, 3,000 people say you failed in your moral obligation to keep them safe in that park.
Well, I totally disagree with that, if I'm honest. I know they say we've got a moral obligation, but we feel we're already doing that. I know obviously they've got a list down here of CCTV and other things, but with the CCTV itself, over a year ago, I took that decision for us to go wireless, which we've just invested just under £500,000 in, which we'll be rolling out over the next 6 months in Mansfield.
So you accept at the moment that park isn't safe?
Well, no, I don't think any park you can say is safe, because obviously they're not patrolled 24 hours a day, and we haven't got a policeman in every corner of the park or a warden. So is anywhere safe? I know we've had a terrible incident, and I must say we are deeply concerned that an assault has took place on the Racecourse Park on Friday, and our thoughts are with the victim. We would urge anyone with any information to contact the police on 101.
It's the second in a matter of months, and that's what's causing people concern, and particularly when they say that it's too dark around there. There isn't good enough lighting. I mean, yes, they want CCTV, but it's not even lit properly.
Yeah, to be fair, concerns was raised quite a considerable amount of time ago about lighting, and we mended all the lighting, but unfortunately we do have a regular vandalism in that area as well. We do try and keep on top of it, and we are in regular consultation with police, and if they feel that there isn't enough lighting or it does need CCTV quicker than we can get it there, then obviously we'll work together with the police to do so.
The lights along the footpath, I know they're the ones that I think you're referring to, perhaps don't always work for one reason or another, but there aren't anywhere the football pitches are at all. Shouldn't there be more put in around there?
No, well, we can put lights out everywhere. We have invested just under £60,000 in our local lighting system.
Yeah, but if it's not safe, if 2 people have been attacked in a matter of months, then don't you have an obligation to do that?
We are currently working in consultation with the police to see if anything around the lighting and the lighting of the park may have contributed to the incident, and we will look and take action if the police advise us to improve the safety of our parks. They've not said so at this particular moment in time.
But you see, one of the things they're getting frustrated about is the amount of time that all of this takes. And, you know, if people are... A second attack now in a matter of months, they're worried about the next one's going to come, so much so they're taking matters into their own hands. That shows a lack of faith in both the police and in you to get anything done in time.
I can understand people's frustration, but I can assure everybody that things are happening at the council, and we are on the front foot with this. We're not on the back foot. But it is frustrating for myself, being a councillor, that sometimes it takes months and months to get things rolled out. But with budgets and finances, obviously we have to get things passed first, and then obviously we have to go out for tender. We will do whatever is necessary in consultation with the police to do whatever is necessary, not just in that park, in other parks as well in and around Mansfield. But can I just say, just going back to your vigilante, I don't think that's a good idea at all. I do think it's a great idea that obviously our public feel passionate about these parks, and the more the parks are used, the safer they become. But the vigilante idea, I don't agree with that. That's a police's job, and obviously our wardens work closely with police as well. It's a wardens and police job.
Sure. Are they going to get CCTV then?
I'm looking at putting CCTV in, if not all, most of our parks, but they will, yes. I'm looking at doing that because from a Mansfield Council's point of view, it identified to me some time ago that we do spend a lot of money in our parks, and we do have a lot of vandalism and stuff and antisocial behaviour. So I thought it was a good idea, obviously, to put CCTV in our parks to obviously protect our own property.
And how long might that take, do you think? You talked about the sort of red tape you get through.
It's going to be happening this year. We're already rolling out. Obviously, we're out to tender now. We're looking at different systems and stuff and what we're putting in place. And the whole idea of changing our CCTV, moving to wireless, is so it is easier to put them up wherever we want to. And we're going to have covert cameras as well, so people will not even know it is cameraed up. We're going to have covert cameras in our parks and in other areas of Mansfield.
Councillor Mick Barton, thank you very much indeed, the portfolio holder for public protection in Mansfield. It's David Jackson here, BBC Radio Nottingham.